Chairman and the COO of Hydro One show up with an important announcement. We've been working very hard in this community to advocate for high-speed, reliable internet for our community, our taxpayers, and the businesses here. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time. I'm here to introduce the Honorable Kinga Surma, Minister of Infrastructure, with what we hope is very exciting news for Brighton. Minister, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I am so happy to be here today in Brighton, along with my colleagues, to deliver some great news on our government's progress in bringing high-speed internet access to every community in the province. We all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has really emphasized the importance of having reliable online and cellular access. In the blink of an eye, people were forced to pivot online, to learn, to work, access critical services, and connect with loved ones. Many people across the province just didn't have the access to high-speed internet that they needed. In the year 2022, this is unacceptable. That is why our government has committed a historic investment of nearly $4 billion to connect every region to high-speed internet by the end of 2025. This is the largest single investment in high-speed internet in any province by any government in Canadian history.
Yeah.
To support this commitment, I'm very excited about it too, to support this commitment, we have a comprehensive and bold plan that will help make sure families, homes, communities, and businesses can join the online world so many of us enjoy. As part of our plan, our government is finding new and innovative ways to close the digital gap. One of the innovative ways that we're doing this is by supporting Hydro One on a new pilot project for Brighton that will help us further move forward in our ambitious goal. The pilot project will use Hydro One to use their existing infrastructure, such as hydro poles, to fast-track the development of high-speed internet networks in Brighton, saving time and money. Through this new approach, Hydro One will work with internet service providers to provide up to 1,450 homes and businesses with the access to high-speed internet that they deserve. This is very exciting for the residents here. Some of you, though, may ask, why Brighton? Brighton was selected as an underserved rural community with the existing infrastructure where Hydro One is the residential electricity provider. If this pilot project is successful, this could allow for the exploration of high-speed internet initiatives in other rural communities that are similar to Brighton to ensure no one gets left behind. To further support our plan of 100% access across Ontario, our government has already committed over $900 million to over 180 high-speed internet, cellular, and satellite projects to date. We are also bringing faster internet access to 375,000 homes and businesses across the province and significantly improving cellular connectivity throughout Eastern Ontario. Our new innovative bidding process, led by Infrastructure Ontario, will also bring high-speed internet access to more people who need it. During this process, we've received a lot of market participation, including from local, small, and medium-sized internet service providers. I'm pleased to share that the reverse auction phase of the competitive process is now closed, and Infrastructure Ontario will be finalizing contracts with the successful internet service providers as part of the final step of this process. I look forward to updating the public on this very soon. This is a huge accomplishment already. We were the first jurisdiction in Canada to execute a series of reverse auction events to expand access to high-speed internet. Furthermore, earlier this month, we introduced the Getting Ontario Connected Act 2022. If passed, this new legislation would remove barriers, duplication, and delays, and give internet service providers the tools and the assurances they need to get shovels in the ground as early as this summer. I want the people of Brighton to know that our government is taking action. Our government is doing everything it can to ensure that no matter where you live, you will have access to the reliable, high-speed internet to succeed in today's online world. Our investments in broadband infrastructure will create the conditions for economic growth while protecting the progress we've already made. We're building Ontario to ensure everyone has access to healthcare services, that they can work, learn, start a business, participate in the agricultural sector, and most importantly, connect with family and friends. I would now like to turn it over to Minister Smith to say a few words.
Here in my capacity today as the Minister of Energy, but I'm also a neighbouring MPP and all part of the Bay of Quinte region as the Member of Provincial Parliament for Bay of Quinte, and it's great to be able to join you here, especially the Mayor, who's a great community champion, his council's members who are great community champions in their own right, and of course our great MPP for this region, Minister Piccini. It's also great to have our team here from Hydro One with us. David Leviter, we've spent a lot of time together over the last little while, and the team from Hydro One have been working on all kinds of great projects, including making sure we get that $5 billion EV battery plant hooked up so it has the energy that it needs, and Hydro One's been working hard with us to make sure that that investment is a huge success. As Energy Minister, I'm really happy to be able to showcase how Ontario's energy sector is stepping up to support our government's work to connect all homes and businesses to high-speed internet by 2025. Today's announcement is an important step forward for Brighton that's going to see high-speed internet access expanded to almost 1,500 homes and businesses in this community. And we know that reliable high-speed internet is essential for people and communities to thrive in a modern and digital economy. But not all communities have access to the same quality of internet service. I see this myself as your neighbor just to the east. And we split our time between my home in Bay of Quinte and at Queen's Park, and I think a lot of people in Toronto would actually be surprised to learn that broadband is an issue just 90 minutes away along the 401. That's why since day one our government has been eliminating red tape, we've been reducing regulatory barriers, particularly in expanding access to high-speed internet. Last year we passed the Building Broadband Faster Act, and just a couple of weeks ago we introduced the Getting Ontario Connected Act. And now we're launching this pilot project here today that makes it possible for Hydro One to expand high-speed internet access without unnecessary, expensive complexity and delay. And Hydro One's going to be able to leverage their existing electricity infrastructure to fast-track development of high-speed internet networks and work with local internet service providers so more families in Brighton are going to be able to access better and faster internet services sooner. They already provide reliable electricity service for our communities, and I want to thank again Hydro One for stepping up to be a first mover so that we can explore the potential of this project. That's because it's about more than just one community. I'm really excited by the prospect of this model and what it means to potentially being applied in other communities like this across the province. We're loading the bases with baseball season just around the corner in Toronto to hit a grand slam for Brighton and communities across the province. There's some baseball fans over there. I see you, councillors. I'd now like to turn it over to my good friend, Minister Piccini, who's been doing fantastic work here in Northumberland, Peterborough South as your local MPP and also as Environment Minister. And Piccini, over to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks, Todd. Thank you. Thanks very much, Todd. Thank you all for being here today. Minister Surma, welcome. Thank you. Mayor Ostrander, Deputy Mayor Connect, Council who are here today, Ron, Mark, Doug, Emily. It's great to have such champions and staff with the municipality of Brighton who've been such champions for the people. This council's getting things done, and they're working hard for the residents of Brighton. And I'm honored to be joined here with my colleagues, Todd and Kinga, and the incredible team at Hydro One. I think back and I reflect upon a couple of years back, and I'd like to give a special shout out to Councillor Bateman who gathered around, I remember putting nodes literally on a map with Hydro One team, many of whom are with us here today, talking about underserviced communities. And you know, we've worked as a county, Mayor Ostrander at County Council. I see we have county reps here. Dan, thank you for being here together with us here today. Rural Ontario deserves in. We deserve in for the farmer who's reliable internet just isn't there. The farmer who deserves access to a competitive global market, the small business owner, the senior citizen who's making a special sauce that you can put on anything, Saucy Dottie, she deserves it. For the small business owners, for the shopkeepers here downtown, and for the young ENSS grad who wants to start a business, who doesn't want to leave and go to the big city center, but wants to start a thriving business right here in rural Ontario. They deserve access to high-speed internet. You know, I'm a young MPP and minister, and constantly youth in our community are making me feel old with the technology and the apps that are there today. It can connect you to mental health services. It can connect you to family and friends overseas, or in the very challenging last 2 years of the pandemic, to family that are maybe just in Colbert. It's reliable, and it's so needed in our communities. If arenas are the lifeblood of our community, and we've been down to important work that this council is doing on the arena, internet is also that lifeblood, and we've seen it over the past 2 years with the pandemic. For too long, rural Ontario was but an afterthought, and if we're gonna leverage the potential of this province, if we're gonna leverage the potential of a young boy or a young girl who live on the shores of Lake Ontario, outside of Presqu'île Park, or that entrepreneur I mentioned to you, who in her golden years is opening up a thriving business, or maybe special effects, who were just nominated for an award with the Government of Ontario. I mean, so much is happening right here in Brighton, and the people do not deserve any artificial barriers to success, which is why it's so important that we provide reliable, high-speed internet to every man, woman, farmer, senior person in this community. It's so critical. We've known this for far too long, but I'm proud that Minister Surma especially gets it, and our government gets it, and have provided that largest investment in Canadian history, any government of any size. It's truly staggering. And what's exciting is the partnerships. If there's one silver lining to the COVID pandemic, and we've seen it right here in Northumberland, it's the amazing collaborative partnerships that we've seen. Whether it's looking out for your neighbor, providing groceries, whether it's the online app developed so that Rotarians and beyond can support the vaccine effort. We've looked out for one another, and we've worked together. We cannot let internet access be a barrier to that success, be a barrier to those relationships, those partnerships, or to be a barrier for an entrepreneur of tomorrow who wants to take their products in Brighton, in Northumberland, and sell it to the world. So I'm so proud to be part of a great team, working with the phenomenal team at the county, at the municipality, who are leaving no stone unturned, and the incredible team at Hydro One. At its core, we're all here to serve the people. So I thank you for the work that you're doing to an amazing community of Brighton, and an incredible council getting things done. Thank you for being partners. Thank you for working together. To the county, thank you for your leadership. We've got more news coming. This is just the start. So stay tuned. We're getting connected. We're connecting Northumberland to the world, and I'm really proud of all the hard work that's gone into making today possible. So I'm proud to turn it over to Hydro One.
First of all, let me thank Minister Smith, who is an incredible neighbor, understands that regional partnerships are important across boundaries, and to my friend David Piccini, who gets that communication up and down is not just important, it's vital. And David gets back to me just about as quickly as anyone when I text him with an issue. So thank you, Minister Piccini. Thank you, Minister Smith. I was at a vaccination clinic about a year and a half ago, or a year ago, or whenever it was, and Minister Piccini, MPP Piccini, then introduced me to the Premier, and we got talking about internet. And I said, internet services are now today's hydro, meaning we need that kind of investment. So it is with great pleasure that I introduce the Chief Operating Officer, David Ledbetter of Hydro One. David.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out. And it's such an exciting day, and I'm so happy to be here representing Hydro One. And I look back, and over a century ago, Hydro One was created to electrify rural Ontario and Northern Ontario. And that was done because electricity was seen as critical to economic development, was seen as critical to providing quality of life for the citizens. And today is no different. Today we're announcing broadband expansion into Brighton. And just like electricity 100 years ago was so critical to life, today, as you've already heard, broadband is critical to life. It is critical to bringing growth into community. It is critical to allowing people to stay in the communities and to develop and build careers there and raise their families there. And we're so excited to be part of this. We're so excited to be able to use our existing infrastructure, which spans this entire vast province, to use that infrastructure to economically help bring broadband to the underserviced communities of Ontario. And as you've already heard, we're using our existing infrastructure here in Brighton to expand broadband to this community. And we're doing that in partnership with our telecommunications company, Acronym, who's also coming to the table to ensure that Brighton gets the broadband services it deserves. And as you previously heard, broadband is essential. As we learned over the last 2 years, you can educate yourself over the broadband. You can work if you have high-speed internet. You can get medical services if you have high-speed internet. You can start a business. You can communicate with members of your family that are close or far. It's hard to imagine a life without broadband, yet much of Ontario does not have access to reliable high-speed broadband. And as you heard from the minister, when we live in Toronto, we tend to forget that so close to Toronto, people don't have that. And it's very exciting to be here today to participate with the government in bringing this pilot to Brighton. And I look forward to the future potential of this pilot and other work that we will do as we collectively work with the government and municipalities and other partners to bring broadband to all of Ontarians. So thank you for allowing me to be here today, and thank you for allowing Hydro One to participate in this great pilot and this exciting work.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you to Ministers Smith, Piccini, and Surma for coming all the way to Brighton. We do appreciate your presence here today. And to COO Lebeter for coming down from Hydro One and representing that incredible organization with this pilot project. I'm going to open the floor for questions from the media, but first I think we have
Well, I have to make one correction. It's not Ontario Hydro, it's Hydro One. I'm old. Freudian slip, right? Freudian slip. Why did we pick Brighton? Well, I don't think we picked Brighton. I think Brighton picked us. But Brighton's a great community to work with because our infrastructure is here. We already provide reliable electric service here. And we had willing partners. As we heard from the previous speakers, for anything to happen today, you need partnerships. Collaboration is key. And we had a great Hydro One team in the area, got a great council to work with, and we had support from the government. So that's why we're in Brighton.
And I want to thank you because
What party you're from or what your views are, we'll work together with anybody to make the connections. And I think you're going to hear from leadership from other tiers of government going forward on some of those innovative models. And I'm just glad that we've got a flexible partnership model that looks at reverse auctions, that looks at really outside the box thinking to connect everybody. But I mean, if we want to ask about partisanship, don't forget it's a progressive government, conservative government getting this done. So.
Thank you all very much.
thank you. One more over here, guys. Sorry.
Tell me exciting news.
This is so exciting. I mean, when we made a commitment to connect everybody by 2025 and backed it with $4 billion, it's about leveraging partnerships, and it's not just about dollar figures alone. And so working with Hydro One, leveraging their existing hydro poles. I know community folks have mentioned that to me. We had a packed hall in Codrington. Council's been active. I remember when Councillor Bateman came down to my office, we were mapping the nodes. It's essential service, and the pandemic has shown us the need not just to connect with family and friends overseas, but maybe a family member just in a neighboring municipality. Maybe you're a farmer who's got to connect, you're a landowner, or you're a business, a next generation young entrepreneur who wants to stay in our community. You can do that now. There's a tangible future. We've got the pilot here in Brighton. It's going to expand hopefully all across Ontario, and we're just getting started. We've got another exciting announcement coming up that's going to connect everybody across this county. So much more to come, and proud to be part of a government actually delivering on reliable high-speed internet.
Brian, tell us what this means to you with the community.
Exciting pilot project from Hydro One for a utility-based internet service. As you know, across Northumberland, we have significant gaps for reliability of internet, and having a utility-based service through Hydro One will hopefully help improve reliability and consistent connectivity for the people of Brighton.
Even the councillor came up and spoke a few words about how happy he is with it, that it cuts on his time, so it's right from the top down. It will be helpful.
It absolutely will be helpful. It's great for not just the residents, but for our local economy and for businesses who need to connect as well.